Whoa, Blizzard's always circling like a type of vulture, but instead of eating carcasses, they eat all our fun. So I just want to give a warning that this video will include spoilers from Legion 7.3 and as well as 7.3.5. So I was wrong. All my crazy theories aren't working out very well. I'm bound to be right about something. Blizzard, please, can I be right about one thing? The whole point of these crazy conspiracies aren't to be right, just to more or less just get everyone thinking. At least that's what I'm going to say now because I'm dead wrong. Imagine being me if I was right. Like, ha ha ha, I was right, you all suck. No, I wouldn't do that. But no, they have released the last boss in Legion. They have talked a little bit about Argus. It is now on the PTR. I've been looking at a few of the gear sets, and oh, they're beautiful. But there is one crazy theory I have left. Now, reading over a lot of the speech text, I don't really see too much about Khadgar. I'm wondering if in the start of the patch, the Legion hits us first, and then we ultimately hit back. We take off in the Exodore because it's repaired now, and we go to Argus and we take the last fight to the Legion. Well, I mean, so what kind of impact will it have? Well, I think the Horde and the Alliance will be tasked with defending their cities, and they will both ultimately lose a great hero. Now, what heroes could that be? Well, but let's take a step back and look at Hellfire Citadel and Warlords of Draenor. We got to see a vision of death. There were supposed to be two of them. It was supposed to be King Anduin Wrynn talking to War Chief Vol'jin and War Chief Vol'jin dying. But the other one, they ultimately scrapped that one, but the other one stayed. And there'll be a link in the description below to some other person's video. It's not my video, but to someone else's video, and you can see this vision of death. But for people that don't want to watch it, basically Khadgar dies. He says,
"It's good to see that you survived that last assault. But when the Burning Legion makes its final push, they'll wipe us out. It's been an honor to fight by your side all these years. But our strength was not enough to save Azeroth. Before we meet death, let's send a few hundred demons screaming back to the twisting nether."
And then in the end he says, "For Azeroth," and he blows himself up. I still think that could happen. It was a vision of death. They kept it for a reason. So I'm wondering if Khadgar will die in the beginning of 7.3. That would take a lot of guts on Blizzard's part to do this. To let Khadgar go in the beginning of the patch, not even the end of the patch. Which will change the ending of what I thought, which Khadgar would be the one to sacrifice to save Azeroth from closing a portal. But it doesn't look like we're going to have to be closing a portal. Although the fight has not been shown yet, it's still possible. And my opinion changed just based on who they have as the last boss. And we'll get to him in a second. So, we have Khadgar dying for the Alliance. Who dies for the Horde? Well, there's only one person that comes to mind. Someone who retired from Blizzard. Someone who put up the hammer. I'm thinking maybe Thrall. Is Thrall's time about to come to an end? I mean, maybe. I think it might be Thrall. It could also be somebody completely more neutral on the Horde side as well. Or maybe the Horde is helping the Alliance with the aid of Stormwind, considering, the Alliance raided Orgrimmar, at the end of Mists of Pandaria. But again, wild theories, will they come true? 99% of the chance, no. There's that small percent that it might. We'll have to wait and see. Like, all the patch notes and everything just came out today. So now let's get into Legion and what I got wrong. So there's a couple things, like, in the name of the raid, it's a really cool name. It's called the Burning Throne, Antaros. And the last boss in Legion is Argus. Not the planet, but the Titan, Argus. Argus the Unmaker. And there's a picture here. I'll see if I can get it on the screen. But, wow. He looks cool. And yeah, he's just a Titan. He was obviously corrupted. I thought, Sargeras' plan was to punch a hole into every planet and kill the Titan inside, but I'm wondering if the deal he made with Kil'jaeden, or if his ultimate plan is just to corrupt the Titans and make them fight for the Legion. The old gods want to corrupt the Titans inside to make old gods, so the Legion is corrupting them to make Dark Titans. We want them just to be born and become just Titans. There's a lot of whole Titans, this, old gods, that. But it's going to be very interesting, obviously, to see his fight and to see ultimately what the end is. It would kind of make sense as well, also, that we need our artifact weapons. Maybe we can't kill him unless we have them. They said they'd make a good reason to get rid of them. Killing him with our weapons, I understand, but getting rid of them doesn't make sense. So I still think there's something with Sargeras that they haven't really shown yet, because nothing of the fight is put in the game yet. Like, there's no stage 1, stage 2, this happens stage 3. It's all too early to tell. But ultimately, it looks like a lot of what I said is not coming true. But I even said Illyria might be last boss in Legion. I said, what if it's possible? What if they're the... But it turned out that no, they're actually, the leaders in the Army of Light. Then I talked about the last bosses and which ones would make sense. Vadi Mothras is in the raid. He's not the last boss, and he looks rather rough. He looks really rough. But again, the whole purpose of these speculations, I guess, isn't to be correct. It's more or less just to make people think. Just to kind of, what's the craziest option that could happen? And Blizzards have done a lot of crazy things over the years, so it makes it hard to sort of predict, which is good. It makes it hard to predict what's going to happen. Blizzard's obviously doing a great job at mixing it up a little so we can't predict what's going to happen. If they had the predictable gameplay, the predictable story, no one would want to play because, they saw us coming a mile away. But I'm just trying to take shots in the dark. Unfortunately, my aim's starting to steady a little bit. I still think that something's going to happen. I still think people are going to die. Legion's whole model is, kingdoms will fall, heroes will die. So it's going to be really, really cool to see what the ending is going to bring. So I'm really off about a lot of things, but I still appreciate all the love that everyone's been giving me, all the likes, the comments. They all help me immensely, and it kind of gives me motivation to keep doing these things. Again, am I happy that I'm wrong? Yes, I'm absolutely happy that I'm wrong because I can't predict. Even Legion, I only predicted a tiny portion, and that was just Gul'dan coming to the Tomb of Sargeras. There was no way I could have predicted anything else that was going to happen. In the link in the description below is my video for the 8.0 speculation as to what's going to happen at the end of Argus and ultimately at the start of the new expansion. Most of it's stuff that I want to see happen, and that's, again, a lot of my speculation is what I want to see. But of course, I always end up being wrong, but that's okay. It's still cool to think about. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, you know what to do. And what are your predictions? Who's going to die? Who's going to live? What's going to happen to our artifact weapons? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, so I have a couple of hindsight points, just things at the end of the video. I'd rather do it this way, because when I was editing, I noticed I left out a few points, or I wasn't exactly clear on a few points. So one of the points that I want to make is that I actually don't think Thrall is going to die. I don't see them doing that to, Mr. Metzen. It's just one of the craziest theories that I can come up with. With Chris Metzen retiring, I believe it'd be better for them to just retire Thrall, have him have his kids like he was going to. I think it's more likely that maybe just Khadgar will die. Again, a lot of people are probably going to say, well, why would Khadgar die? Khadgar's done this. He's the most powerful mage. But you got to remember, King Varian Rin died at the beginning. Vol'jin died at the beginning of the expansion. So Blizzard's not really strange at killing people at the beginning of the expansion and not so much at the end. I think it'd be a good a closure, because I've always been curious as to see that moment from when we saw the visions of death from Kilrogg. Again, the thing about Kilrogg's visions are they're always right. It's their job as clan leaders to tunnel vision towards that vision so they can complete their destiny. So it's not going to be too weird if he does die. Again, all the YouTubers are saying, well, where's Khadgar? The story starts with them leaving the Vindikar. Sorry, it's not even Exodar. It's the Vindikar, I believe it's called. And Khadgar's not there, and there's no mention of him anywhere. So, I'm thinking they're keeping the spoiler stuff until the end. That's why I think Argus's fight's not detailed. I think that they're going to attack us first, and us riding the Vindikar is going to be like, we have to go counter now while we still have a chance. And I suppose another one of the points that I wanted to make just before I quickly wrap this up was, I am happy being dead wrong, but I'm always liking the crazy predictions. I've always done the crazy predictions. I've always liked to think about the wildest possible outcome to things, instead of just saying, oh well, maybe. I don't like thinking of the boring way, like, oh, when we meet Argus, we have to put our weapons in the hammer of Khadgar, and then we will strike him down with it all together. Yay! No, no, I like looking at the darker things, like Argus sprinting at us full speed, almost to a portal, and us having to close it by using our weapons to destroy it. I like thinking of the dark sides like that. I love thinking of those things more, and I think um, Blizzard likes to do that as well. Like, we have to fight a Titan that we thought was dead. We have to fight two Titans in the raid. So, like, it's Blizzard's always open to the extreme as well. I'm not saying I'm like Blizzard at all. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of things wrong. I love getting things wrong because it's like, oh, well, this is even better. This is even better than what I thought. But again, sooner or later, I think one of my predictions just might happen to be right. Oh, man, I hope Khadgar doesn't die. He might, though. Thank you very much for watching.
What have you done? Sometimes the hand of fate must be forced.